Let's drop the pleasantries and get straight to the bone. You're here because something is fundamentally wrong in your life. You feel it in the quiet moments, don't you? That low-grade anxiety humming beneath the surface like a faulty transformer. That pervasive sense of being spiritually drained, a fatigue that no amount of sleep, coffee, or motivational content can touch. You see it in the string of bad luck, the business deals that collapse, the relationships that start with fire and end in ashes. The feeling that you're running a race with invisible weights strapped to your ankles. You've tried to fix it with logic, with discipline, with therapy. But you're trying to fix a structural problem by rearranging the furniture. I'm here to tell you why your efforts have failed. I'm here to tell you the one truth that modern society, in its sterile, materialistic view of the world, has conditioned you to ignore. You are haunted, not by apparitions in white sheets, but by the living, breathing, energetic specters of every single sexual partner you have ever had. Every time you have been with a woman, whether for a night, a month, or a year, you engaged in an act of profound energetic alchemy. You forged an invisible, powerful, and lasting chain, what ancient wisdom called an astral tube. Burn this image into your mind. It is a psychic umbilical cord. It plugs directly from your core energy center, your life force generator, into hers. And it does not dissolve when you say goodbye. It does not vanish when you delete her number. It lingers, it persists, and with every new partner, you have willingly added another chain to your shackles. Right now, I want you to perform a brutally honest visualization. See your soul, your inner being. Is it a radiant, sovereign sun, powerful, self-contained? Or is it what I suspect it is, a dimming star, ensnared and suffocated by a tangled web of cords? Each one acting as a siphon, pulling your vital energy, your focus, your power, your very life force away from you. This is not a metaphor. This is the literal energetic reality you've been unknowingly navigating. In a sacred, committed marriage, a single astral tube becomes a conduit of immense power, a closed circuit, a psychic hotline through which love, loyalty, and support are amplified, the kind of bond that builds empires and raises strong children. But what you have been building is a prison with 1,000 open doors. Your energy is leaking out, feeding the emotional states, the dramas, the psychic needs of women you haven't spoken to in years. You feel drained because you are being drained. You feel scattered, unfocused, because your soul is scattered across every city, every apartment, every bedroom you've ever left behind. This is the unspoken diagnosis of the modern man's malaise. And our work today is to stop running and finally face it. Let me paint you a picture. Jacob, 35, a financial analyst with a six-figure salary. On paper, a success. Yet every morning he wakes with mental fog. At work, he can't focus. In meetings, a strange, unidentifiable sadness gnaws at him. At night, he is too hollow to connect with anyone meaningfully, so he numbs himself with cheap dopamine hits, scrolling, gaming, pornography. Jacob thinks he has burnout. He thinks he has depression. The truth? His vital energy is being siphoned by 6 different women from his past. One going through a messy divorce, her despair is piped straight into his psyche. Another, deeply lonely, her psychic craving bleeds into his mind as brain fog. Jacob is trying to fight a war on the battlefield of his career, while his supply lines are cut off by enemies he doesn't even know exist. This is the invisible war you are losing. You operate under the grand delusion that your past is in the past. You've neatly categorized those encounters as experiences, lessons, or just fun. But the universe, the unblinking arbiter of energetic law, does not recognize your convenient labels. An energetic connection was forged, and until it is consciously and intentionally severed, it remains active. That is a non-negotiable law. I need you to grasp the gravity of this timeline. Each of these astral tubes persists, at minimum, for 12 years from the date of your last sexual contact. A live, open psychic link. Now, do the math. How many active lines do you have open right now? When you left a woman feeling used, betrayed, heartbroken, you didn't simply walk away from an uncomfortable situation. You walked away, still psychically tethered to the nuclear fallout you created. Her pain, her obsessive thoughts, her resentment, her anger. These powerful emotional frequencies don't just stay inside her aura. They travel. They are broadcast down the astral tube and plugged directly into your energy field 24/7. This is the psychic static that plagues your life. Think about it. That inexplicable wave of anxiety crashing over you on a perfectly good Sunday. That sudden, violent flash of anger in traffic, wildly disproportionate. That nagging voice of self-doubt that whispers poison right before a crucial presentation. You rationalize it as stress or a bad mood. It is not. You are experiencing psychic feedback. You are feeling the turbulent, unprocessed emotional states of the people you are still energetically chained to. And it is impossible, utterly impossible, to hear your own soul's guidance, your intuition, your mission's calling, when your inner world is filled with this incessant chaotic noise. Let me tell you about another man, Ethan, a graphic designer. He had a deeply codependent, emotionally volatile relationship with his ex, Sophia. He was the fixer. She was the victim. He finally broke free. Now, he's in a healthy, stable relationship with Claire, and yet he finds himself sabotaging it. Whenever Claire is calm, secure, grounded, he feels an overwhelming urge to create drama, to pick a fight. He doesn't understand it. Here's what was happening energetically. Miles away, whenever Sophia felt lonely or her life grew unstable, her psyche would send out a desperate SOS for her old fixer. That psychic pull traveled down the still active astral tube, straight into Ethan. He received this energy, and his subconscious, still programmed by the old relationship, translated it as a craving for chaos. So he unconsciously provoked fights with Claire. Not because of her, but because he was a puppet, his strings still pulled by a ghost from 5 years ago. This is not bad luck. This is a karmic echo. The unresolved energetic patterns of your past will continue to replay like a skipping record in your present reality. And you are the one who dropped the needle on the record. Taking full ownership of that is the first brutal step toward liberation. Your life is not happening to you. It is responding to the energetic frequencies you are broadcasting consciously and far more dangerously, unconsciously. Now we must go deeper into the part of this work that truly terrifies most men. We must look at why. Why did you choose this path of self-fragmentation? Because if you are ruthlessly honest with yourself, you will admit it was never truly about the sex. The sex was merely the symptom. The medication, the anesthetic, the real disease was the profound hollowness inside you, the shadow self you have been running from since you were a boy. It's time to take off the mask, to meet the man who has been making these decisions. Which one are you? Were you the conqueror? Your self-worth was a bottomless pit, and you tried to fill it with the validation of female attention. Each yes, each night with a new woman, was not an act of connection, but an act of acquisition. She was a trophy for your fragile ego, a temporary piece of evidence to present to the inner judge who constantly condemned you as not good enough. This is the psychology of the man who suffers from a deep father wound, a distant, critical, or absent father who left him with a desperate need to prove his masculine worth. But the validation high was always fleeting, wasn't it? The moment you were alone again, the hollowness returned, more vast than before, forcing you into the next conquest, an exhausting, addictive cycle. Perhaps you were the fugitive. Your deepest fear was not rejection, but true intimacy. To be truly intimate would mean to be truly seen. It would require you to lower your defenses, to allow a woman to see the scared, flawed, insecure boy hiding behind your carefully constructed mask of charm, humor, or stoicism. That level of vulnerability was utterly terrifying. So you used casual sex as a shield. It gave you the illusion of closeness without the risk of exposure. You kept conversations shallow. You avoided commitment. You always ensured an exit strategy. You were a fugitive, running from the very connection that could have healed you. This pattern is often rooted in a mother wound, an overbearing, critical, emotionally engulfing mother who made intimacy feel like suffocation. Or maybe you were the ghost, physically present, but emotionally, spiritually absent. You moved through relationships like a phantom, never fully landing, never fully committing your essence. You used the intensity of sex to temporarily jolt your numb heart into feeling alive. But the moment the intensity faded, so did you. You left women confused, empty, as if they had been in a relationship with a mirage. This is the mark of a man disconnected from his soul, from his purpose. He uses the vitality of others to animate himself because he has not yet found his own inner fire. In Jungian psychology, all these patterns are expressions of an unintegrated anima, the feminine archetype within the male psyche. Because you have not faced and integrated your own inner feminine, you cannot relate to women as whole, sovereign beings. Instead, you project your wounds, fantasies, and fears onto them. And so you are doomed to repeat the same failed relationship again and again with different faces, because you are not interacting with them. You are interacting with your own shadow. Each astral tube you've created is not just a chain to a woman, it is a chain to an unhealed part of your psyche. You operate under the dangerous assumption that your personal life is personal. You believe you can build a firewall between your past and your present, that once you decide to commit to a family, you can simply step into the role of a devoted husband and father. This is a catastrophic miscalculation. Energy is not compartmentalized. You do not bring only your present self into a marriage. You bring your entire psychic entourage, and this unseen baggage will systematically poison the sanctuary you are trying to build. Let's talk about your wife. When you commit to her, the new sacred astral tube you form must compete for bandwidth against the noisy, chaotic signals of all your old connections. She feels this on a profound intuitive level. She may not be able to articulate it, but she feels you are never 100% present. She senses a part of your energy, attention, essence is reserved or directed elsewhere. This is the hidden root of what experts call intuitive distrust. It's why she might feel insecure for no logical reason, why she might start fights to test your presence, why a deep, unshakable sense of emotional safety always feels just out of reach. You are sleeping beside her every night, but on an energetic level, you are sleeping in a crowded room, and she feels it. The most heartbreaking consequence is the collateral damage inflicted upon your children. A child's psyche is incredibly porous, sensitive. The combined energetic field of their mother and father is meant to be their first home, their psychic sanctuary. It is this stable field that allows them to develop a secure attachment, a foundational belief that the world is a safe place. But when your energy field is constantly infiltrated by the psychic static of your past, your home is no longer a sanctuary. It is a battlefield of unseen forces, and your child absorbs everything. When you are suddenly hit with a wave of restlessness or melancholy transmitted from an old flame, your child feels that shift. They don't understand it, so they internalize it. They may believe they are the cause of your sudden distance. They may believe they are to blame for your irritability. And so begins the birth of anxious attachment, insecurity, behavioral scars that will plague them for years to come. Let me give you a picture. Daniel, a loving father to his 7-year-old son, Leo. Years ago, Daniel had a tumultuous affair with Isabella. He believes it's long over. But one lonely night, Isabella reminisces, sending out a powerful energetic pulse of longing and sexual memory. That energy travels down the astral tube. And Daniel, sitting at the dinner table with his family, suddenly gets an intrusive fantasy about Isabella. His energy shifts. A subtle glaze falls over his eyes. His wife, Olivia, feels it instantly. She goes quiet. Leo, sensitive, picks up the tension. His world feels threatened. He starts acting out, banging his fork on the table. Desperate to break the silence, to pull his father back into the present, Daniel, annoyed, snaps at Leo. And in that moment, 3 lives are poisoned by the ghost of a woman from a decade ago. This is how generational trauma is born. Not from grand dramatic events, but from the subtle, unseen poison of a father's unresolved energetic past. You have unknowingly poisoned the very well from which your family was meant to drink. If the words on this page have struck you like a lightning bolt of recognition, then this is the moment your despair ends, and your true work begins. I am not here to leave you in a state of shame. I am here to hand you the tools of the alchemist, the weapons of a warrior. This is the practical step-by-step process for reclaiming your power and forging a soul of diamond from the wreckage of your past. Step 1. Declare strategic brahmacharya, an embargo on energetic leakage. Your first move is to stop the bleeding. This demands a committed, non-negotiable period of celibacy, not as a moral judgment, not as religious penance, but as an act of strategic power, an embargo. You are consciously refusing to create any new chaotic energetic connections. You are refusing to hemorrhage your life force. For a set period, 90 days, 6 months, a year, you will redirect that immense sexual energy inward, into rebuilding your body, sharpening your mind, fueling your life's mission, This is not about deprivation. It is about reinvestment. You are taking all the energy you once leaked outward and using it to resurrect yourself. This is your declaration of energetic sovereignty. Step 2, the fearless inventory, dragging your shadows into the light. You cannot heal what you refuse to see. You will take a journal, and in it, you will perform a fearless inventory of your past. Write down every name, every single sexual partner. Beside each name, write the unvarnished truth. No excuses, no narratives. Ask yourself, what was my true motivation? Was I seeking validation? Escaping loneliness? Chasing conquest? How did I treat this person? Was I honest or manipulative? How did I leave? Did I ghost them, betray them, or end with integrity? This act of writing is the act of dragging the unconscious into the light. It will be painful. It will be humbling. It is supposed to be. This is the first fire of your alchemy. Step 3, the ritual of severance, cutting the chains that bind you. This is the most critical step, an act of psychic surgery. One by one, you will work through your list. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and begin. 1. Visualize the connection. See them standing for you. See the astral tube, a cord of energy binding your root or solar plexus chakra to theirs. Acknowledge its reality. 2. Take radical responsibility. Say, I acknowledge the role I played in our connection. I take responsibility for the ways I may have caused you pain, knowingly or unknowingly. 3. Offer forgiveness. Ask for it. Say, I forgive you for any pain you caused me, and I ask your forgiveness for the pain I caused you. I release you from any energetic debt or obligation to me. 4. Reclaim your energy. Release theirs. Say with power, I now reclaim all of my energy entangled with yours. I return to you all of your energy I've been holding. I release you with love. I wish you peace on your own journey. 5. Cut the cord. Visualize a brilliant sword of light in your hand. Swing it with decisive intention. Sever the astral tube. See it disintegrate into light. See your end seal with golden energy. See theirs do the same. Watch them fade, peacefully, and feel the shift in your field. This is not a passive meditation. This is an act of focused spiritual will. You will repeat this for every single person on your list. With each cord you cut, you reclaim a vital piece of your soul. This is the arduous, sacred work of becoming whole. As you walk this grueling but liberating path, something extraordinary begins to happen. The psychic static that has been the soundtrack to your life fades into silence. The chronic anxiety dissolves into a deep, grounded presence. Your energy, your focus, your raw power, the very life force you've been leaking for years, comes flooding back into your system. You no longer feel like a fragmented man, a ghost in your own life. You become integrated, centered, powerful, whole. You become the sovereign king. Not a tyrant, but the wise, benevolent, absolute ruler of the kingdom of your own inner world. From this place of sovereignty, the entire landscape of your life transforms. When a man like this enters a marriage, he does so not from desperation, but from overflowing fullness. He does not seek a woman to fix his broken pieces, for he has already forged himself whole. He seeks a queen to build an empire of purpose, love, and conscious legacy. Their sexual connection is no longer a leaky drainpipe. It is a sacred, closed circuit of alchemical energy, a force that empowers them both and creates a foundation for a truly magnificent family. What I have given you today is not just philosophy. It is a map, a set of tools. It is the map out of the invisible prison you have inhabited most of your adult life. The journey will not be easy. It will demand more courage and honesty from you than perhaps anything ever has. It will require you to face the parts of yourself you have sedated and ignored for years. But hear me, you do not have to walk this path alone. This is the reason Dark Truth Therapy exists. We are not another self-help channel selling comforting platitudes and motivational fluff. We are a training ground, an arsenal, a brotherhood of men who have chosen to stop running from their shadows and instead to face them. Because everything you desire, true power, deep love, unshakable purpose, is buried within them. This is your invitation, but it is also your choice. You stand at a fork in the road. Down one path lies the comfort of denial. You remain a slave to your past, forever wondering why your life feels empty. Down the other path lies the alchemist's fire, a path of brutal honesty, of difficult work, of profound transformation. It is the path to becoming the sovereign king you were born to be. If you are ready to stop being haunted and start becoming the master of your own soul, your real work begins now. Subscribe to Dark Truth Therapy. Engage with this material. Join the Brotherhood in the comments. This is not a passive viewing experience. This is the active reclamation of your soul. The truths are dark, the work is hard, but the freedom on the other side is absolute. The choice is yours. The work begins now.